Very good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1 for the Newsfirst, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan.
And I'm Wijeyeratne. Here are tonight's top stories. Opposition coalition rallies in Nugegoda under Namal's lead. Opposition claims first step against government. Basil seeks more time for court appearance after health setback. SriLankan Airlines agrees on $175 million bond restructuring policy agreement.
On to those stories in detail. The joint opposition rally organized under the leadership of SLPP national organizer parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa was held this afternoon in Nugegoda.
Since last night, grass had been hung along the main roads leading to Nugegoda and in several parts of the island. SLPP urban councillor Chaminda Silva removed the grass that had been hung near the Rahula junction in Mathura.
ඉතාමත් අශෝභන ලෙස මේ ඉතාමත් අමාරුවෙන් අපේ මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මහත්තයා හදපු විදුලි ආලෝක කණුවල තනකොළ එල්ලලා තියෙනවා. මම මේ ටික දැන් ගලවනවා. ඇත්තටම හරිම අපරාධයක් මේ කරපු වැඩේ.
Under the leadership of parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa, a coalition of several opposition parties organized this joint opposition rally, which drew party supporters from various parts of the island today. One group of attendees arrived at the rally that was held at the Ananda Samarakon Open Air Theatre from the area near the Navala walking path. Another group gathered near the Nugegoda flyover, coming via the high-level road. The group gathered at the Ananda Samarakon Open Air Theatre in Nugegoda, arriving via two different routes. The United National Party, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Pivithuruhela Urumaya, New People's Front and several other opposition parties joined the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in this rally.
Namal Rajapaksa.
The opening speech of the rally was given by the Vice President of the Sri Lanka People's Youth Front.
That boy from Thamuttegama, the son of Rambanda, the president you appointed, he is telling graduates to write exams if they want a job. That's quite amusing. This is what the president of a country who entered into politics from a state university system of the country has to say.
විශ්වවිද්‍යාල පද්ධතියෙන් දේශපාලනයට අත්පොත් තබපු රටේ ජනාධිපතිවරයා.
Several former and current members of parliament also expressed their views.
Just like in the 1956 five-pillar of the Sinhalese society, Sangha, Vedaguru, Kamkaru have joined hands with us. Our Buddha statues are being taken here and there today. These people are not the national people's power. These people are the ones who are installing Buddha statues. So the Sangha, Veda, Guru, Govi, Kamkaru movement means nothing today. We did not create this stage to make leaders, but when we need to pick someone up and put them in the presidential chair, we will do that. We don't need to know who the individuals are. We don't need parties. Go and find Namal Rajapaksa's degree certificate and send 10 more police officers. Go and find them. The best thing is that Ananda Vijayapala is a former SI of the police. There is no police station where Ananda Vijayapala used to be. There is no case where Watagala spoke. There is no hospital where the health minister gave medicine. If possible, bring the degree certificate before showing Namal's lawyer's certificate.
Sugeshwara Bandara, who served as the then private secretary to former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, also expressed his views.
Today Anura Kumara and his 159 carpets seem to have no regard for the Buddha Sasana. They want to impose their own troubling culture on the world. This is why they remove the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, the very body that preserves and represents the teaching of the Buddha.
Former Minister Wijeyeratne's speech was interrupted on several occasions.
We would like to remind you that if they want to bring in a crowd more than 10 times of this, Tilwyn and them would have to build a new ground. There has never been a government who has been scared of a rally as much of this rally. There was a meeting held in Tangol yesterday as well. The crowd was brought in by the police. Why was the government this scared of a rally? They had done the calculation. By including the Sri Lanka Pivithuruhela Urumaya and the Mahajana Paksha are not with the SLPP now. They were mad at each other in 2022. Then they had problems with the UNP in 2023. There is no unity with the SJB or the UNP. These groups will remain separated. They will fight with each other. With this government, we have the dream that we would be able to grow through the first 4 years without fear of lies and fraud. But that dream has already been shattered.
Harin Fernando, Deputy Secretary General of Political Mobilization of the UNP, began his speech by calling Namal Rajapaksa the prince of the stage.
With permission from all party leaders, including the national organizer Namal Rajapaksa, who is the prince on this stage today, and all the parents of the political authority, I make a request to the esteemed youth. Namal Rajapaksa is a second-generation leader. There are second-generation leaders of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. There are second-generation leaders of the United National Party. There are second-generation leaders of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya. There are second-generation leaders of the Sarva Jana Balaya. Let us all come together. Let us carry this fight together. We must remember Mahinda. Mahinda is the leader who ended the war in this country. Remember, Ranil Wickremesinghe is the leader who ended it when people were dying in queues when the economic collapse in the country. In a party with leaders like this, we only needed to remind them of what a scoundrel he is.
SLPP national organizer Namal Rajapaksa arrived on stage with a large crowd of supporters.
අපේ පෞද්ගලික අරමුණු නෙවෙයි අපි නියෝජනය කරන කඳවුර වගේම
This is not about personal interests. We represent the people just like we represent our organization, and we are ready to lead any democratic struggle at any moment to address the needs of the public. That is the message we are sending today. We also remind the Inspector General of Police. Yesterday, the President said that public servants should not engage in politics and that the President himself will handle political matters. We remind the police, all public servants who constantly interfere with the government, and certain officials to faithfully perform their duties. Any political issues should be addressed together with the government, and we are prepared to resolve them in that manner. Those leaders who once did not hesitate to walk in paddy fields in solidarity with farmers are now clad in suits and in Colombo. Farmers are struggling. They cannot even sell their paddy properly. Potato farmers, onion farmers, tomato farmers and pumpkin farmers are all helpless. Vegetable farmers are struggling. When they ask the government for fertilizer support, what is the response? Go buy the fertilizer first with your own money and we will give you the funds later. Should farmers have to ask the government for something they already need to do? We know farmers must use fertilizer, and that is why we are asking the government not to delay or obstruct farmers in their work. Finally, we remind the government to understand this clearly. Our ships are not meant to be anchored at the harbour. Ships are built to navigate the open sea, face storms, endure wind and waves, and overcome challenges. That is why, Honourable President, we remind you and the government that the ships are meant for the sea, not to sit idle in harbours. Likewise, we remind the government that we are building a strong public movement and will topple the government at the first chance we get.
A rally organised by several opposition parties led by Namal Rajapaksa was held today as the GCE advanced level examination took place at nearby schools. Students sat for the political science paper from 2 p.m. to 5:10 p.m. Police had notified the organisers to ensure that the students arriving for the examination would not face any inconvenience when reaching the examination centres or returning home. They were also instructed to limit the use of loudspeakers strictly to the rally premises and to comply with all permit conditions. Accordingly, police removed the loudspeakers placed outside the rally premises this afternoon. Parents of students who arrived in Nugegoda for the A-level examination expressed their views.
අනවශ්‍යම වැඩක් ඒක. වැඩක් නැති ඒක නිකම් මේ ආත්මාර්ථකාමී මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ආත්මාර්ථකාමී හැඟීම. ළමයි ගොඩක් අවුරුද්දක් දෙකක් තුනක් පාඩම් කරලා මහන්සි වෙලා මේ වගේ මේ අනවශ්‍ය දෙයක් කරන එක ළමයින්ට බාධාවක් කියලා මම හිතනවා.
විභාග ඉවර වෙලා නැවතුවා නම් හොඳයි කියලා හිතෙනවා. ඉතින් ඔක්කොම තව ඉස්සරහටත් තියෙනවනේ විෂය.
අරුවන්ගේ විභාග ඉවරලා ඒ කරන දෙයක් ඒගොල්ලෝ කරගත්තට කිසි ගැටලුවක් නැහැ ඉතින්. අපිට ඕනේ ඉතින් අපේ දරුවෝ ටික අරගෙන අපි ගෙවල් වලට යන්න එපේ.
It was revealed in the Mathura Magistrates Court today that former Minister Basil Rajapaksa had booked airline tickets to arrive in Sri Lanka but later cancelled them. This disclosure was made during the hearing of a case regarding the alleged purchase of a plot of land in the Browns Hill area in Mathura using unlawfully acquired funds. Former Minister Basil Rajapaksa, his wife's sister Ayoma Galakpatti, her husband Tissa Galakpatti and Muditha Joykodi are named as respondents in this case. At today's hearing, former Minister Basil Rajapaksa and Ayoma Galakpatti, his wife's sister, were not present in open court while their guarantors appeared before the magistrate. President's counsel Anil Silva, appearing for Basil Rajapaksa, submitted a document containing several medical reports related to his client. Deputy Solicitor General Lakmini Girihagama, appearing for the Attorney General, pointed out several discrepancies in the medical reports submitted regarding the suspect's health condition. Excerpt.
Your Honour, the third suspect in this case, Basil Rajapaksa, last appeared before court on 18th of September 2024. This means the suspect has not appeared in court for over a year. His absence has delayed proceedings. At the previous hearing, the presiding magistrate ordered the suspect's guarantors to ensure his presence in court. On that day, counsel informed the court that the suspect had fallen from a chair, sustained injuries to his head and neck, and was suffering from nerve-related issues. However, the X-ray reports presented on the day clearly showed no fractures. The President's counsel has also informed court that the suspect would be present today. The medical reports submitted, issued by a doctor named George Chidi, initially stated that the suspect was suffering from head and neck nerve issues due to a fall. Today, the doctor's medical letter mentions that the suspect is suffering from left side sciatica, which causes numbness. All these reports have been issued by the same doctor, yet the letterheads differ. Furthermore, every report only describes symptoms and simply recommends that he is unfit to travel by air without providing a proper medical explanation or listing any medication he is taking.
End of excerpt. The Deputy Solicitor General further told the court that although the doctor had recommended that the suspect avoid air travel, Basil Rajapaksa had booked airline tickets to arrive in Sri Lanka today but later cancelled those tickets. Excerpt.
Your Honour, on 14th of September 2025, the doctor recommended that the suspect should not travel by air due to his health condition. Despite this, on 25th of September, the suspect emailed an airline requesting tickets to travel to Sri Lanka between 18th and 21st of November. He then cancelled those tickets in October. In the airline's medical assessment form, it is clearly noted that he could travel with the assistance of another person and does not require a special seat, bed, facility or oxygen.
End of excerpt. The Deputy Solicitor General requested the court to issue an appropriate order stating that the medical reports submitted regarding the suspect's health condition cannot be accepted due to these inconsistencies. After considering the submissions, Magistrate Chitra Disanayaka ordered the counsel for Basil Rajapaksa to submit a detailed medical report regarding his medical condition by the next court date. The magistrate further ordered that if such a report is not submitted, the counsel must show cause as to why the suspect's bail should not be forfeited. The magistrate also warned the guarantors to ensure that Basil Rajapaksa appears in court and scheduled the next hearing for the 22nd of May next year.
Case filed.
The Colombo High Court has scheduled the case filed by the Attorney General against former Ministers Mahinda Nanda Alutgamage, Nalin Fernando and former Secretary of Sports Nanda Mallavarachi for the 5th of February. The case alleges that they misappropriated nearly 37 million rupees in government funds by importing 14,000 carom boards and 11,000 checkerboards using Sirasa funds during the 2015 presidential election and distributing them to Mahinda Rajapaksa's political officers. The case was taken up today before Colombo High Court Judge Buddhika C. Ragala. During the proceedings, the lawyers for the defendants presented arguments on preliminary objections. The judge directed both parties to submit written arguments on these objections. The ruling on the objections is scheduled for the 5th of February 2026. When the case was called up, Mahinda Nanda Alutgamage and Nalin Fernando, both serving prison sentences, were brought to court by prison officials.
Newsfirst with the people. The war on drugs. For our children, for our
Police say that the consignment of drugs seized from a multi-day fishing vessel in the southern seas belongs to a drug trafficker named Unakurwe Shanta. In connection with this incident, a provincial council candidate of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya was also taken into custody yesterday.
Police say that the SJB provincial council candidate had connections with a suspect arrested from the multi-day fishing vessel. Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa issued a statement in this regard, confirming that the candidate's party membership has been suspended. 6 fishermen aboard the multi-day vessel were also taken into custody. Sri Lankan Navy reported that 115 kilograms of heroin and 261 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine or ice were recovered from the vessel, hidden in the midst of 18 bags. A revolver, a pistol and 2 magazines were also found on board. The vessel, seized during an operation by the Police Narcotics Bureau and the Navy in the deep southern seas of Sri Lanka, was brought to the Tangol Fisheries Harbour last night. Meanwhile, the police have uncovered a separate drug trafficking operation linked to Canada. A man in possession of 25 grams of ice was arrested in Wattala. Following interrogation, authorities seized an additional 115 grams of ice from another suspect in Hunupitiya, Wattala. According to current findings, this drug network is being run from Canada, with online payments used to distribute drugs to local areas while the suspects were arrested. The suspects were produced before the Valley Area Magistrates Court and remanded for 7 days.
Meanwhile, today in Parliament, MP Dilip Jayawira shared his views on the ongoing nationwide drug control initiative.
Regarding the southern coastal belt, which has the potential to develop a tourism industry, it is said that the biggest problem in our country is the drug issue. Now drugs can be caught easily. They have been caught. This is highly political. It's good as a publicity stunt. They can keep conducting these raids and showing it to the people every day. I can tell you what the final outcome will be. Without creating wealth for the people of this country, without developing the economy of this country, without giving hope and aspiration to the youth of this country, they will continue to seek solutions like this. It's not about where it was brought from, how it was brought, or whether it was caught. Therefore, these kinds of fake campaigns must stop. Who are we trying to deceive? Even if you gather people, hold a meeting and then ask them to step down or stop, will they actually stop? This is all a lie.
ඔය මිනිස්සු ගෙනල්ලා ඔය මිනිස්සු අද්දලා ගෙනල්ලා රැස්වීමක් තියලා ඉවත් වෙනු කිව්වට ඉවත් වෙනවද? මේක බොරුවක්නේ. මේක බොරුවක්.
මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය ව්‍යසනයෙන් ඔවුන් අත්මුදවා ගත්තේ නැත්නම්
If we do not liberate the youth from the drug menace, we will not have any youth left. Do not belittle the efforts being made towards that goal to this extent. By belittling this effort to such an extent, I appeal to my friend not to support the downward spiral of this generation of youth by undermining this movement against drug dealers and the drug business.
සහයෝගය දෙන්න එපයි කියලා මගේ මිත්‍රයන්ගෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
Today in Parliament, Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development Sunil Handuneti urged the investors to support the growth and production of several key industries across the country. He highlighted the government's goal to achieve an export income of $36 billion by 2030, describing it as a milestone for national economic strength and self-reliance.
Honorable Chairman of the Committee, the Minister of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development has now opened an important call for investors to support the growth and production of several promising industries across our nation. By the year 2030, we aim to achieve an export income of $36 billion, a milestone that will mark a new era of economic strength and self-reliance. However, these new investments must not be confined to the Western province alone. They must reach every corner of our country, empowering communities from the rural heartlands to the urban centers. Global investment, domestic participation, and confident negotiation will be the 3 pillars that drive prosperity and in industry and entrepreneurship.
SriLankan Airlines, in a filing submitted to the Singapore Exchange yesterday, confirmed it has reached a final agreement in principle to restructure its $175 million in defaulted bonds. This development is expected to mark the completion of Sri Lanka's 3-year external debt restructuring effort and may pave the way for a sovereign credit rating upgrade.
In an official announcement made by the Singapore Stock Exchange, SriLankan Airlines announced a final agreement in principle to restructure $175 million in defaulted bonds. According to the official statement, SriLankan Airlines and the government of Sri Lanka announced that the company held restricted discussions between the 23rd of October and the 19th of November 2025 with 6 members of the ad hoc group of bondholders relating to its $175 million guaranteed bonds due June 2024. The statement further said, quote, "The government and the company are pleased to report that they have reached agreement in principle with the group on the financial parameters of the restructuring of the notes. The in principle agreed terms remain subject to final approval from Sri Lanka's Cabinet of Ministers, as well as the non-objection from the International Monetary Fund and Sri Lanka's Official Creditor Committee, pursuant to the government's commitments taken in the context of Sri Lanka's overall public debt restructuring exercise." The statement filed by the Singapore Stock Exchange yesterday added, quote, "Under the in principle agreed terms and subject to the successful implementation of the restructuring in accordance with such terms, the government will be discharged from its liability pursuant to the guarantee and benefit from substantial debt and immediate liquidity relief to maintain the hard-fought long-term sustainability of its public finances." The agreement in principle includes a haircut of 15% of the total claim amount pertaining to the notes, while the balance will be exchanged for a mix of cash and medium-term bonds issued by the government at an interest rate of 4%. End quote. The agreement settles one of the last major obstacles to rebuilding Sri Lanka's financial stability after its 2022 default. With this deal, the government has covered about 99% of its external debt, putting the country in a strong position for a possible credit rating review.
Defense Secretary retired Air Vice Marshal Sampath Thuyakonta met with National Security Advisor of India Ajit Doval on the sidelines of the 7th National Security Advisors level meeting of the Colombo Security Conclave in New Delhi.
Sri Lanka and India held a bilateral discussion on the sidelines of the 7th National Security Advisors level meeting of the Colombo Security Conclave in New Delhi from the 19th to the 20th November 2025. The Sri Lankan delegation was led by Defence Secretary Air Vice Marshal Sampath Thuyakonta, while the Indian side was headed by National Security Advisor Ajit Doval KC. During the meeting, both sides engaged in constructive talks covering a wide range of security matters of mutual interest. Discussions focused on strengthening cooperation in areas aligned with the CSC's 5 pillars, including maritime safety and security, countering terrorism and radicalization, combating trafficking and transnational organized crime, cybersecurity and humanitarian assistance and disaster relief.
Embracing diversity, skills and work for persons with disabilities. An event celebrating diversity was held in Colombo today.
Embracing diversity, skills and work for persons with disabilities was held in Colombo today. The event aims to advance inclusive employment through skills development for persons with disabilities. At the event, felicitations were delivered by the representatives of the German and Swiss embassies, as well as the GIS country director, while Secretary to the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education, Nalaka Kaluava, highlighted the importance of educational reforms.
If someone asks from me, what is the main objective of the reform process, what we are planning? My simple answer is ensuring inclusivity. That is the simple answer what we can give if someone asks why we need the reforms for the education system. Inclusivity in the sense, when we say that we have to identify different level of skills, we have to identify different level of abilities, we have to identify different level of potentials. With the reforms, at this moment, if we consider our education system that is very much confined to one framework, that is very much confined to the exam-based assessment, that is very much confined to the one way, we are giving one possible answer for all the questions. But I don't think with these children, we cannot adopt the same strategy. So that is where we need to think differently to provide more and more opportunities. When we introduce the reform process, we embrace all these diversities and we try to identify all the potentials, all the skills, different abilities of children.
Organized by the Ministry of Education, Higher Education and Vocational Education in partnership with Jesus Vocational Training in Sri Lanka project, the gathering served as a celebration of inclusion, bringing together government leaders, development partners and key stakeholders.
Aqua Planet 2025 Sri Lanka, an international aquatic expo being held in Colombo from November 21st to the November 23rd, 2025, commenced in Colombo today.
Aqua Planet 2025 Sri Lanka, held from 21st to 23rd November, unites global fisheries professionals, researchers, entrepreneurs and enthusiasts to celebrate and advance Sri Lanka's aquatic resources. The event highlights fisheries, aquaculture and ornamental fish industries while promoting sustainability, innovation, trade and education. It serves as a vital platform for knowledge exchange, business development and collaboration, strengthening Sri Lanka's blue economy and reinforcing its position as a global leader in the aquatic sector.
As the government of Sri Lanka, we are focused on building a fisheries sector that is resilient, sustainable and equitable. Our key priorities include strengthening small-scale fisheries, protecting coastal communities, coastal and marine ecosystems, supporting climate adaptation, improving market access and value addition, expanding women's economic participation in this sector, and creating opportunities for youth in aquaculture and marine technology. We also hope to encourage private sector investment and innovation in this sector. As we observe World Fisheries Day, let us reaffirm our responsibility to protect our marine resources, support our fishing communities, and advance a fisheries sector that is both sustainable and competitive. Through cooperation and continuous improvement, Sri Lanka can strengthen its position as a regional leader in fisheries and maritime development.
ප්‍රදර්ශනයේ ප්‍රධානම අරමුණ තමයි අපේ මූදු පතුලේ තියෙන සම්පත් අපේ ornamental fishing market එක ගත්තත් හරි.
The main purpose of this exhibition is to preserve the valuable resources we have in the oceans, ornamental fishing markets, seawater and the freshwater areas, all places rich in life and livelihood. In the past, many of these resources were depleted to almost nothing. When that happens, fish prices don't rise, production cannot increase, and nothing benefits the fishermen. We are fortunate to still have these incredible resources, and it is important to showcase them to the world. This is why we organized this exhibition.
මුළු ලෝකෙටම අයෙන්න පෙනෙන්න කියන්න ඕන. ඒ නිසා තමයි අපි උත්සාහ කරේ දැවන්ත ප්‍රදර්ශනයක් කරා.
This exhibition consists of two main sections, the ornamental fish section, which is led by the Aquaculture Development Authority, and the section covering the entire fisheries industry, which is led by the Department of Fisheries. In parallel, the event also consists an international workshop of the Bay of Bengal program, intergovernmental organization, and a special platform that will introduce investment opportunities for local and foreign investors. Maharaja Media Network is the official media partner of the event.
The Colombo Motor Show 2025 and Motor Accessories Exhibition launched in Colombo today, reaching its 19th year as a premier platform for automotive excellence. The Colombo Motor Show 2025 and Motor Accessories Exhibition kicked off in Colombo today, marking its 19th consecutive year of showcasing the best in the automotive world. The event was officially inaugurated by international racing champion Dilantha Malagamua, adding prestige and excitement to the launch. This year's motor show promises 3 exhilarating days filled with power, innovation and cutting-edge technology and pure automotive excitement. The exhibition will run from the 21st to the 23rd of November in Colombo.
St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia announced its inaugural Inter-House Karting Championship 2025, marking a first-of-its-kind initiative in school sports history.
St. Thomas's College held a media briefing to announce the inaugural Inter-House Karting Championship 2025, which will take place on the 6th of December.
St. Thomas's offers a rounded education to the boys, not just academic, but also in sports. But this particular sport takes it to another level. We are also hoping the boys will get driven into not only motor sports, but also the engineering side of it, motor engineering, so on and so forth. That is the bigger objective of this whole exercise.
The team captain also highlighted the school team's international performance in Dubai earlier this year.
We were the first school team to ever take part in an endurance event internationally in Dubai. That was on the 25th of October. And I'm really proud for the performance that the boys over here performed it over there, tackling the track and competing against 35 different teams all over around the world. And pretty tough race, but I'm proud of what we've come so far.
St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia, currently the only school in Sri Lanka to promote karting as a formal sport, aims to use this unique initiative to introduce students to STEAM or science, technology, engineering, arts and mathematics-based education, creating pathways towards strong professional opportunities in the future.
The Thai Sri Lankan Love for Humanity week-long mission ended today in Kandy after completing over 100 free knee replacements for underprivileged patients, strengthening medical ties between Thailand and Sri Lanka. The Love for Humanity by Siriraj mission at the National Hospital Kandy concluded today after a week-long humanitarian drive in which a joint Thai-Sri Lankan surgical team carried out free total knee replacement surgeries for underprivileged patients.
It is the day after 3-day knee replacement surgery operation has been accomplished with satisfactory result. It is the day when treated patients will show us that they will be able to walk again without pain shortly after the operation and with bright smile. And importantly, it is a day that we organized this meritful mission to celebrate the 70th birthday anniversary of Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn, and also 70th anniversary of diplomatic relations between our two countries, which exactly falls on today, 28th of November.
The mission, which ran from the 15th of November to the 21st, brought together top orthopedic surgeons from the Siriraj Hospital in Thailand, collaborating with Sri Lankan counterparts at Kandy's National Hospital. According to the Sri Lankan Embassy in Bangkok and the Siriraj Hospital team, the goal was ambitious, to perform over 100 total knee replacement surgeries within just 7 days.
Today marks the 92nd birth anniversary of veteran actor Wijeyeratne, who made significant contributions to Sri Lanka's arts and theatre industry. To celebrate this occasion, Sirasa FM organized a special program today.
To celebrate the 92nd birthday of veteran actor Wijeyeratne, Sirasa FM visited his home in Colombo this morning, offering long life wishes and heartfelt greetings. The team, led by Sirasa FM program director Namal Rajapaksa, joined members of Wijeyeratne's family to celebrate the special occasion. Several artists also joined the celebration, adding to the festive atmosphere. Earlier this morning, Wijeyeratne joined Sirasa FM live on the Surya Sirasa program, where he received warm birthday wishes. In conjunction with his birthday, a by-road on the Sri Sunandarama Road in Colombo was officially named Wijeyeratne Warakagoda Place, honouring the celebrated actor.
The final rites of the late veteran radio presenter Chitra Kumari Colombo were held today at the Boralla Public Cemetery. Prior to this, her body was laid to rest at a private funeral parlour in Talahena, Koswatha.
Chitra Kumari Colombo passed away at the age of 68 while undergoing treatment for an illness. She joined the radio service in 1979 as a relief announcer and later became a popular presenter in the commercial division. Renowned for her exceptional oratory skills, she also made a mark as a news announcer. Captivating audiences with her articulate delivery. In addition, she earned admiration as a radio drama artist, a voice artist for films and stage plays, and as a master of ceremonies on public stages. At the time of her retirement, Chitra Kumari Colombo had served as the director of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation Commercial Division.
In international news, South Africa is hosting the first ever G20 summit on African soil in Johannesburg this weekend, bringing together delegations from 18 of the world's top economies. The United States, however, has refused to participate, calling South Africa's hosting a disgrace.
World leaders have arrived in Johannesburg for the first ever G20 summit hosted in Africa, aiming to put the challenges of developing countries, including climate change impacts, debt burdens and global inequality, at the top of the global agenda. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, who will chair the summit, criticized the absence of the United States, saying, quote-unquote, "Their absence is their loss." The US boycott, led by President Donald Trump's administration, comes amid claims of persecution of South Africa's white Afrikaner minority. Despite this, other world leaders are attending. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said African states are seeking partnerships and expects good results from his talks in Johannesburg. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese highlighted the importance of the G20 trade, noting that 1 in 4 Australian jobs depends on partnerships with G20 countries. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced a new critical minerals agreement with South Africa, while British Prime Minister Keir Starmer revealed a commercial deal to assist South Africa with rail network forms. China and Russia are represented by delegations, though Presidents Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin will not attend. Chinese Premier Li Qiang visited Zambia en route to South Africa to sign a $1.4 billion three-country railway agreement, expanding China's influence and access to critical minerals in Africa. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived in Johannesburg and said he will present India's perspective aligned with the vision of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and One Earth, One Family and One Future. The United States confirmed it will not participate in any official talks. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stated that no American official would attend the G20 discussions. South Africa has also refused to hand over the G20 presidency to a junior US official at the end of the summit, with Ramaphosa warning that the country will not be bullied. The Johannesburg G20 summit is expected to focus on trade, global inequality and partnerships for development, despite the absence of the United States. Leaders from the European Union, India, Australia, Germany and the UK are among those attending, aiming to strengthen international cooperation and explore new trade and investment opportunities.
Meanwhile, talks at the COP30 climate summit in Brazil were disrupted on Thursday after a fire broke out in the venue, triggering an evacuation just as negotiators were hunkering down to try to land a deal to strengthen international climate efforts.
United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres had appealed earlier in the day for a deal from the summit in the Amazon city of Belém, welcoming calls from some for clarity on the hotly disputed subject of weaning the world off fossil fuels. There are less than 24 hours until the scheduled end at the summit to find a consensus among nearly 200 participating countries. Host nation Brazil has framed a deal as a crucial step towards ramping up international climate action and demonstrating that there is broad support to accelerate turning decades of promises and pledges from COP summits into action. Shortly after lunchtime, however, security footage showed flames breaking out at an exhibition pavilion and spreading rapidly up an internal fabric shell that lined the walls and ceiling of the building before being extinguished. Organizers said that 13 people were treated for smoke inhalation at the venue. The local fire service said it was probably caused by electrical equipment, likely a microwave, and was controlled within 6 minutes. Thousands of delegates were evacuated as security staff formed a human barrier across the hallway.
Relentless rains and floods have killed at least 41 people in central Vietnam since the weekend, while the search continues for 9 still missing.
According to reports, the deluge has submerged more than 52,000 homes and left 500,000 households and businesses without power. Rainfall exceeded 1.5 meters in several areas over the past 3 days, even rising beyond the 1993 flood peak of 5.2 meters in some parts. The worst hit areas including the coastal cities of Hoi An and Nha Trang, as well as a key coffee production belt in the Central Highlands, where farmers are already reeling from a stalled harvest because of earlier storms. Extreme weather has battered Vietnam in recent months. 2 typhoons, Kalmegi and Bulaoy, left a trail of deaths and destruction within weeks of each other. According to government estimates, natural disasters in Vietnam have wreaked damage amounting to $2 billion between January to October this year. Photographs published by local media show people stranded on roofs as floodwaters creep into their homes, while a video circulating online shows a suspension bridge in Lam Dong province getting torn off its anchors.
Zimbabwe secured a convincing 67-run victory against Sri Lanka in the second match of the Pakistan T20 International Tri-Series.
Batting first, Zimbabwe got off to a strong start with opener Brian Bennett scoring 49 runs off 42 deliveries. Captain Sikandar Raza also chipped in with 47 runs off 32 deliveries as Zimbabwe posted 162 runs for 8 at the end of their 20 overs. Chasing a target of 163, Sri Lanka were cheaply bowled out for just 95 runs. Sri Lanka's top order collapsed, losing 4 wickets for just 29 runs. Only Basil Rajapaksa and captain Dasun Shanaka reached double figures. Dasun Shanaka fought a lone battle, scoring 34 runs off 25 deliveries. Brad Evans was the pick of the bowlers, claiming 3 wickets. This marks the second time this year that Sri Lanka have been bowled out for less than 100 runs by Zimbabwe. So far in 2025, Sri Lanka have played 13 T20 internationals, winning 7. They also lost the T20 International Series at home against Bangladesh 2-1.
The second semi-final between Pakistan Shahins and Sri Lanka A is underway in Doha. Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to field first. Invited to bat first, Pakistan scored 153 runs for the loss of 9 wickets in their allotted 20 overs. Earlier on the day, the first semi-final of the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 between India A and Bangladesh A kicked off, delivering a nail-biting clash that went all the way to the super over. Bangladesh A emerged victorious, becoming the first team to secure a place in the final.
The first semi-final of the Asia Cup Rising Stars 2025 tournament between India A and Bangladesh A commenced in Doha today. Invited to bat first, Bangladesh scored 194 runs for the loss of 6 wickets at the end of 20 overs. In an interesting turn of events, chasing a target of 195 runs, India too managed to score 194 runs for the loss of 6 wickets at the end of 20 overs, resulting in a super over. In the super over, India were dismissed with no runs scored, setting a target of just 1 run for Bangladesh in the super over. Despite losing a wicket in the very first ball of the chase, Bangladesh managed to get over the line, securing their place in the final. The tournament is being broadcast live on TV1 of the Maharaja Media Network, which holds the official local broadcasting rights of the tournament, and can also be watched live via www.sirsatv.lk.
And today on beautiful Sri Lanka, we explore the story of the world-famous Ceylon tea, from its lush plantations to the rich flavors that have made it a global favorite.
Ceylon tea is famous worldwide for its black tea production. In 1867, James Taylor initiated the commercial tea industry in Sri Lanka. The scientific name of the tea plant is Camellia sinensis. Tea differs in flavor depending on its type and region, and approximately 14 different varieties of Sri Lankan tea are exported at varying prices.
Beautiful Sri Lanka.
Fatima Bosch of Mexico claimed the 74th Miss Universe title, marking history as the first woman from Tabasco to wear the crown.
Happy headlines.
Miss Universe is Mexico!
Born in Santiago de Chiapa, she pursued fashion design at Universidad Iberoamericana, honed her craft at Milan's Nuova Accademia di Belle Arti, and even studied at Vermont's Linden Institute. But behind the glamour lies a story of resilience. Bosch has openly shared her struggles with dyslexia and ADHD, turning adversity into strength. Her pageant career began in 2018 with the Flor de Oro crown, and by September 2025, she had become a national sensation after winning Miss Universe Mexico, amassing nearly 1.7 million followers across Instagram and TikTok. However, her reign hasn't been without controversy. At the sash ceremony in Bangkok, tensions flared when a pageant official allegedly insulted her for not promoting Thailand enough online. The incident sparked solidarity among fellow queens, including Miss Universe 2024, who staged a walkout. Security was called to restore order.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1.
Thank you for joining us. Good night.